my number one concern was what beat us, and that was it. And that was our ability, physically and mentally, to be able to put that one Thursday night behind you and get your level of energy and emotion back up to where it has to be in 36 hours. I think it's very obvious that didn't happen. Against a very good Georgia team. As we said, forget the record. They started making shots about 3 games ago. They led Tennessee for 30 minutes there and beat Arkansas 20-some odd. And again, they made shots today. 11 three-pointers they made them. But nowhere in that game did I ever feel like we ever got that emotion and energy at the level it has to be at any time in that game. And if you don't do that in this league every night, that's what can happen. Questions?
Yeah, can you explain the offensive rebounding by Georgia worse than the league coming in?
All right. It all gets explained in what I just talked about. That's kind of where it all lies at right there. You know, you had a second half. How many did they have second half? A bunch of them. They had in that kind of game, when you're grinding it out, Georgia's a team that grinds it out with you and they make you guard all that ball screen, cross screen stuff. And when they shoot, because they shoot a lot of threes, and you give up rebounds, yeah, that's a double killer.
They had 11 offensive rebounds.
The second half.
Overtime.
The second half. So, you know, that's a monster stat. But that goes back to everything that I just talked about. You know, never felt like Arnett really had any kind of energy and emotion to the level he's got to have it at.
What about the end of overtime, everything after the missed free throw? Do you think about taking a timeout once it got crossed half court? Or?
No, you know, hey, give him a chance to, it's a flowing defense, getting back in transition. So you're going against a transition defense versus timeout. You're going against a set defense. Now, naturally, if I thought we would get a better shot in that, maybe you'd do something different. But no, I wouldn't. I'd do that again.
Was Arnett just not aggressive enough going for the ball because they took 6 shots today?
I ain't gonna make no excuses for him, because y'all know Arnett's been really good all year. He's about energy, but I think you saw he just didn't have it, did he? And that's not Arnett's game. His game's been about energy and athleticism. And when he plays, he only gets, they played zone. I think he only gets 6 rebounds, only 3 offensive rebounds. That tells you kind of where he was at in that thing. And again, that's a challenge. And we knew it was going to be a challenge. Played Thursday night, and as you guys witnessed, physically and emotionally, we left everything on the court. Well, in this league, because of the way it's set up, you've got to get back up and find a way. And it happened to be an early game Saturday morning. And we just didn't do it at the level you had to do it at. Against a Georgia team, you look at the record, 2-7 coming in, don't stir much up inside of you. But at the same time, you got to understand they're a good team. But that's hard sometimes for everybody to really, understand that, and that's athletics.
So, going off what you just said, Rick, is there a maturity or character issue right now in your basketball team?
No, ain't nothing like that now. Hey, it's just, no, it has nothing to do with that. It's a challenge. When you don't play at the level you got to play at every night, emotionally and energy-wise, that's what can happen. And you can call that whatever you want to call it. I mean, that's just, unfortunately it happens. You don't want it to happen. But it happens. I'm not going to question that with our kids, because our kids have been pretty good all year long. They've played hard all year long.
Coach,
give Georgia some credit. Make sure you give Georgia credit. They jumped up and made tough shots now. They made tough shots. Pope kept making them. We had a bad turnover in overtime, I think up 2, didn't we? Up 2, and had a bad turnover right there. So we had our opportunities. We had plenty of opportunities still. Yes, sir. We asked a question.
Coach, what do you think of Sydney's play?
We did okay. Did okay. It's kind of like everybody else. No one out there was was at their best. Nobody.
We got another quick turnaround at the Tuesday game now, but it's on the road. What can you do in short amount of time?
At least you have one more day to prepare, but it's not easy because it is a Tuesday game versus a Wednesday game. So, but you know, this one here was a, you know, I guess it was about a 42-hour turnaround. This next one will be about a 60-some-hour turnaround, whatever it is. So we have a little more time than it be.
Gerald Robinson had some good plays late in regulation, overtime, dribble penetration. That's kind of something that's bitten y'all a few times this year.
Well, you know, again, that comes back to, you know, at certain times, you know, just not being, you know, where you have to be, the energy, focus you got to have defensively. You know, that's a tough challenge over and over. It's not that dribble penetration, but you got to have that edge to do it. You got to have that edge mentally. Polk's a guy that you look at one guy goes 6 for 12 3-point line and made big shots, kept making them over and over and over. And like I said, offensive rebound in the second half, huge stat. 11 offensive rebounds is a huge stat. And I don't know how many of those. It wasn't like they rebounded and scored them in twos. Lots of times they rebounded and run that set and make some threes in it.
What was the first thing you told the guys when you walked in the locker room?
You know, we'll leave that in the locker room, what we talked about.
Upset with them, or?
No, it's not upset. We're all disappointed. We didn't win. I mean, we understand that. When you don't get upset, you're disappointed that you didn't win. You know, you're disappointed, and it was a challenge for us. As I told people, the challenge was us tonight. Can you get back at the level you got to be at emotionally and physically? Play another good team. Like a good team that's playing well. And that's a challenge. And it's a fine line when you don't get that level every night. This is what can happen in the league.
Y'all have, you know, I think we're 5-0 before this game at home in the SEC, but most of them are pretty close games. You know, you surprised y'all haven't had a better home court advantage, so to speak?
What's our record here?
5-1 now, but yeah,
We'll
close.
take that. Well, let me tell you, in this league, you look at one thing, W's and L's, and you move on with it, Brad. I mean, I'm not worried about close ones or not. I mean, it's, I think that's something for our league. I think that speaks highly of our league, how good everybody is. There's no easy games, nowhere. You know, Arkansas or Auburn, are they easy game? They easy? No, you know, they've been, like you said, they've been to Arkansas and had the last-second shot to win it. And all LSU win it overtime. There's no easy games. There's no easy games, guys. Especially when you're not at your best.
Talk about that challenge of providing that energy at that quick turnaround. What do you tell them to keep that focus? Is that just more of a mental aspect?
You know, well, coming off what we come off of, it's a mental and physical thing. It's both. I mean, physically we left a lot on the court Thursday, and mentally left a lot on the court Thursday. And it's a quick turnaround, you know. And you know, as an athlete, as a player, you know, there's just a fine line there, finding that, getting enough of it to. And again, we still had our chances. Still, that's what a fine line it was. Us not being our best, we still have plenty of opportunities to close out that game. Give Georgia some credit. They played well, made shots.